Welcome back to Senate Finance after dark, after floor speeches, after a long day. Thank you for joining us, and thank you all for being here. We will go right to business, and we will start with Senate Bill 504. And welcome, Ms. McDade Williams. And please go ahead when you're ready.
Good evening, Madam Chair and members of the committee. For the record, I'm Marla McDade Williams. I serve as the administrator of the Division of Child and Family Services in Nevada's Department of Health and Human Services. Before I begin, I want to extend my appreciation to Senator Wynn, the rural child welfare staff, and key staff in Clark and Washoe County child welfare systems for all the work that has gone into the development of this program. It's been an extensive undertaking for all of us over the last 2 years. And as you know, funding for the program has been appropriated in the DCFS budget to administer this program. Senate Bill 504 relates to the Extended Young Adult Support Services Program, or what we call Extended Foster Care. And it does accompany the DCF budget to extend these foster care benefits for youth up to the age of 21 in Nevada. And because this is the first hearing of the bill, if you don't mind, I'll just give a brief overview on the policy. The federal legislation known as Fostering Connections established the Extended Foster Care Program, and it has been available as an option since 2008. States have been implementing it since 2011. Currently, there are 32 states, the District of Columbia, and 9 tribes that have extended 4E foster care. Nevada's Extended Foster Care Program is specifically designed to maximize the participation across the state by making participation the default when a youth turns 18, to ensure that young adults have access to appropriate housing and supports from 18 to 21, to assess housing placements and improve them for safety at a minimum, to maximize new and ongoing federal revenue by increasing the proportion of federally eligible cases among 18 to 20-year-old participants, to ensure that youth receive adequate planning and monthly support from caseworkers and oversight by judges. For this population in particular, this relationship is key to successful transition to adulthood. And finally, to extend kin gap and adoption subsidies to 21 for youth who exit at 16 or later. For a brief overview of the bill, Section 1 amends NRS 432B 5915 and the definition of a young adult, which is needed for eligibility of who qualifies for the program. And this definition must be included in state law for us to claim Title 4E eligibility. Section 2 relates to ensuring youth continue to be under court oversight. Section 3 requires an attorney to whom a child is referred by the court to counsel the child on participation in the program, as well as the options for opting out. Section 4 specifies the requirements of a child welfare agency to meet with a child who's in the custody of the agency before the child turns 18. Section 5 specifies the responsibilities of the child welfare agency, the conditions for participation in the program, and certain requirements of the court. Section 6 requires a written plan in collaboration with the young adult. And then Section 7 identifies the requirements for court overview of the written agreement. And finally, Sections 8, 9, and 10 are conforming sections. Effective date of the bill is July 1st, 2025, and I'm happy to answer questions.
Thank you very much. Do we have any questions from the committee? I don't think so. Thank you.
Thank you.
Senator Wynn.
I noticed in some of the sections of this bill, you just made reference to, I'm sorry, let me get to it, to the 42 USC section 622, and then some places you laid it out. Do you think that this is clear enough that you wouldn't have to come back here and make changes every single time, that it would comply with the federal definitions and requirements as it's written?
At this time, for the record, Marla McDade Williams, I do believe that's the case. The bill draft was reviewed by the Children's Bureau to ensure that it met compliance with federal law.
And then my second question is when you're looking at the section about contact with the young adult in accordance with that requirements, I think at one point you believed that it was by telephone at least once each month and in person at least quarterly. Is that still the same, or are you able to do that now via video and other ways, if you can expand on that?
For the record, Marla McDade Williams. So as you just referenced, those citations to the U.S. Code allow for us to have that flexibility when those federal rules change. So right now, it does allow for flexibility and does not require in-person. It allows for video conference at some period of time.
Thank you, and thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. And any additional questions? All right, if not, step back. And we will go to those in support here in Carson City.
Good evening, Chair Dondera Loop, excuse me, and members of the Senate Finance Committee, Joanna Jacob, JACOB, on behalf of Clark County. And with your permission, my colleague, Cadence Matievich from Washoe, is up in Ways, so she asked me if it's permissible to put her comments in support of the bill along with Clark County, so Washoe and Clark. We, as Ms. McDade Williams mentioned, we've been working on this for a number of years. We are very appreciative of this bill and the fact that it was reviewed by the agency to ensure that compliance with the federal 4E billing requirements. We're excited to implement extended foster care, and we thank you for your support on that issue and for hearing this bill tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And I know sometimes you all have to double team, so thank you. All righty. Anyone else here in Carson City? We'll go to Las Vegas, and we'll go to the phone lines, AVH, when you're ready.
Thank you, Chair. The public lines are open and working, but there are no callers to provide support testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to opposition here in Carson City, Las Vegas, and on the phone lines, AVH, when you're ready.
There are no callers to provide opposition testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to neutral here in Carson City, Las Vegas, and on the phone lines, AVH, when you're ready.
There are no callers to provide neutral testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. Closing remarks. All right, with that, then we will close the hearing on Senate Bill 504. We will maybe be doing work sessioning. I don't know if you want to stay. Just a suggestion. I know you enjoy us. Thank you very much. All righty, with that, we will go to Assembly Bill 548. And welcome. It's always a pleasure to see Miss Jordan. Please go ahead when you're ready.
Thank you. For the record, Alan Janae, Director, Nevada
I mean,
Department.
it's a pleasure to see you too, sir, but
No, I know who the star is.
exactly.
For the record, Alan Janae, Director, Nevada Department of Wildlife, and here with me is Deputy Director Jordan Goshert. We're here to present AB 548. In total respect of your time and the time of the day, I'm going to be very brief in the overview of this. What we're looking for is this bill is looking to move the fee-setting authority for vessel registrations to the Nevada Board of Wildlife Commission from the legislature. This is to also in this bill is to expand the use of boating-related fees to be used for boating education, improving access to boating, supporting law enforcement activities related to boats and wildlife, and including any cost incurred in assisting other law enforcement agencies. And then finally, the remaining piece is to replace the percentage-based deposit into the state education fund with a fixed $800,000 amount. And if you would like, I can walk through the specific bill as far as page and line, but that is the very brief overview of the bill.
Thank you very much. I think we'll let members ask questions. I would just point out that I don't think most people know that some of these fees go to education, number one. And number two, what you do with boating education and out in the wildlife, training people to be responsible, I don't think people realize how important that is as well. So thank you very much for what you do. And with that, Senator Titus.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So for clarification, if this bill were to pass, looking at the bill right now, the current fees, as I have several boats that I have automatic registration on, we don't know where these fees will land, and it will be open, whatever fees they want to pass, they could do. I don't see an up or low or.
Thank you for the question, Senator Titus, Madam Chair, through you. For the record, Alan Janae. So right now, we do not have that built in. Part of the concern and part of the reason that we're bringing this forward is it has been 22 years since we have adjusted our vessel registration fees. And so probably the concept that has been most talked about is trying to get to that inflationary adjustment. So that's basically what they're looking at. Again, with due respect, the agency will absolutely be involved in these conversations with the commission, as you know. And that is the concept in which what we're bringing forward is kind of that inflationary adjustment to make up. But again, to not do it all at once.
Yeah, I appreciate that, but Madam Chair, if I might follow up. I appreciate that, but I don't see any restrictions on that in this bill, and it looks like they have carte blanche to set these fees. I don't see any oversight by this body, which currently is in regulation. We have set these fees, and I just have significant concerns. Thank you, Madam Chair.
And if I may,
Your name for the record.
thank you, Alan Janae. Just to help alleviate that concern is that we do know that it comes back in front of the Leg Commission, and the legislature has that ability to review the fees and, kick it back should it be outside of that tolerance. Thank you for the opportunity.
Just as a clarification, unless I'm misunderstanding the senator's question, I feel like in section 5, where it starts outlining where the money identified in subsection 5, identified in paragraph B, distributed to state education fund, proceeds grantee, blah, blah, blah. I feel like it's outlined where, like, the portion of the net profits of the grantee of a franchise identified, the money required to be distributed to the state education fund. I feel like it's being described. Am I not understanding the question from?
I'll clarify. My concern is that I don't have an argument with where the fees are going, because that doesn't change in this statute. What my concern is the fees themselves, the amount of the fees. So right now it's in statute. What I pay for my less than 13-foot little trolling boat that I have, it's $20. But now that is struck, and they're going to establish a new fee. So this bill doesn't change where they go, and I have no argument where the fees go. My argument is how much these fees are going to be.
Understand. All right, well, I guess, yes, Senator Taylor, please go ahead. You see I hesitated? We've had a problem in here.
We have,
And
we
I've
do.
been the problem.
That's okay. Acknowledgement is the first step.
Senator Taylor, please, the
Thank you, Madam
floor
Chair.
is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And thank you for the presentation. I just have a quick question. In Section 1, Sub 3, where it talks about changing from a 50% for the fee collected, that will go to the education fund, just to a flat fee of $800,000. How does that compare? Has it been 50% of like 30 million? And now no, of course not. But how does that compare? What's it looking like right now? You see what I mean? Are we going up, down? That's about where we are. Give us a little bit of that, and how's the trend?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Jordan Goshert for the record. So when you look at the 10-year average, it's about $745,000 that gets transferred to the education fund. We did see kind of a spike during COVID times where people were getting outside more often, and it was closer to like $900,000. But overall, it's kind of been in that lower range. So we figured just kind of round it off at the $800,000 would be would be equal.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Senator Taylor. All right. Any additional questions or concerns? All right. Thank you very much. And if you'll step back, we will go to those in support here in Carson City, in Las Vegas, and on the phone lines, AVH, when you're ready.
Thank you, Chair. There are no callers to provide support testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to opposition here in Carson City, in Las Vegas, and on the phone lines when you're ready.
There are no callers to provide opposition testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. And we'll go to neutral here in Carson City, in Las Vegas, and on the phone lines, please.
There are no callers to provide neutral testimony at this time.
All right. With that, any closing remarks? All righty. Thank you very much. And with that, I'll close the hearing on Assembly Bill 548, and we will open up our time on the work session, and I will turn it over to Mr. Thorley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Wayne Thorley for the record, LCB Fiscal Analysis Division. The first bill on work session this evening is Senate Bill 304, revises provisions relating to the crime of vehicular homicide. This was heard in this committee on May 22nd and presented by Senator Stone and John Jones with the Nevada District Attorneys Association. There's testimony and support from several of the local governments and DUI advocacy groups. There was no testimony in opposition or neutral. There were no amendments presented or discussed. There is one fiscal note on the bill from the Department of Corrections estimating a fiscal impact related to increased offender population in future biennia. If the committee wishes to move this bill, the appropriate action would be to do pass.
Thank you very much. And with that, I'll accept a motion.
I'd so move to do pass.
Thank you very much, Senator Wynn. Second from Senator Canizaro. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries, and I'll give the floor statement to Senator Stone.
Wayne Thorley again for the record, LCB Fiscal Analysis Division. Next up is Senate Bill 309. This bill revises provisions relating to crime and was presented in this committee on May 16th by Senator Steinbeck and again John Jones, with at that time representing the Clark County DA's office. There was support testimony from the Nevada District Attorneys Association and several local governments. No opposition testimony. There was neutral testimony from the State Department of Public Safety, Parole, and Probation, who testified that the bill would have no fiscal impact. We did get clarification. There was a fiscal note on the bill as introduced. However, that based on the amendment that came out of the Policy Committee, Department of Corrections indicates no longer would have a fiscal impact, so no longer fiscal impact on the bill. There were no amendments presented or discussed at the committee hearing. If the committee wishes to move this bill, the appropriate action would be do pass.
Thank you very much, and I'll accept a motion.
So move to do pass.
Thank you very much, Senator Wynn. Second from Senator Canizaro. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries, and I'll give the floor statement to Senator Steinbeck.
Okay, Kathy, I think's got.
Then we'll go to Ms. Crockett.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Kathy Crockett for the record. Senate Bill 504 was heard in committee this evening. It revises provisions relating to extending youth adult support services program. The bill was presented by the Division of Child and Family Services. There was one comment in support, no comments in opposition or neutral. No amendments were discussed. If the committee wished to approve the measure, the motion would be to do pass.
Thank you very much. I'll accept a motion.
So moved to do pass.
Thank you very much. Senator Wynn, second from Senator Canizaro. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries, and I'll give the floor statement to Senator Wynn. Ms. Crockett, go ahead.
Assembly Bill 548 is the next bill for work session. It was heard in committee this evening. It revises various provisions relating to the registration and titling of power-driven vessels. The bill was presented by the Department of Wildlife. No amendments were presented. There were no comments in support, opposition, or neutral. If the committee wishes to approve the bill, the motion would be to do pass.
Thank you very much. And I'll accept a motion.
So moved.
Thank you very much, Senator Wynn, and I'll take a second from Senator Canizaro. Any discussion on the motion? Senator Titus.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I will be a no on this bill. I am very anxious that it gives carte blanche to the Wildlife Commission to raise fees, registration fees, and I just cannot support that. Thank you.
All righty. And with that, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Okay, nay from Senator Titus, Senator Stone, and Senator Buck. And motion passes, and I will take the floor statement because I'm happy to pay $25 for the vote. Thank you very much, and thank you for being here with us this evening. All right, with that, Ms. Crockett, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Kathy Crockett for the record. The next bill for work session is Senate Bill 468, which was heard in committee on May 20th. The bill makes a $17 million general fund appropriation to the State Public Charter School Authority to fund charter school transportation costs. This is consistent with closing actions of the full money committees when considering the pupil-centered funding plan budget account. The bill was presented by the director of the State Charter School Association or Authority. There was one comment in support, no comments in opposition or neutral, and no amendments were presented. If the committee wished to move the bill, the motion would be to do pass.
Thank you very much. And with that, I'll accept a motion.
So moved to do pass.
Thank you very much. Second from Senator Canizaro. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries, and I will give the floor statement to Senator Taylor. All right, with that, we will go to public comment. Seeing none here in Carson City, Las Vegas. On the phone lines, AVH, when you're ready.
Thank you, Chair. The public lines are open and working, but there are no callers to provide public comment at this time.
Thank you very much. And with that, you are all welcome to go home. We are done for the evening. Thank you very much. We are adjourned. Will be call of the chair tomorrow.